Okay, so we're going to talk about social media and the influence of social media and how you can use it to kind of connect with your members and all of that. There are lots and lots of options and things. This is just kind of the basics and the things that I've been doing since January with the states page to try to, just make some baby steps. Okay. All right, so we're gonna talk about tuning up your social media account, how to sell the Jaycees, and then work smarter, not harder, and then some behind the scenes things. So what social media do y'all use the most? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter?
Instagram, Twitter.
I'm old, so Facebook.
Okay.
Old guy, Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook all the way.
All right. Okay, so we're about 50-50 split with a few Twitter people. All right, so how confident do you feel in using these platforms?
I use Instagram. I've used it for personal and then also like other like blogging type efforts. So I feel pretty good about that one.
Okay. Others?
I don't feel very good at using any of them.
Okay.
Facebook, I'm like a 70% confident. Instagram, I'm like 60%, and then Twitter, I'm like a 80%.
All right.
You could like flip those for me. I'm like 80 for Facebook, and like 20 for Instagram, and 10 for Twitter.
All right.
I feel pretty confident with all of them. I just don't use them that often.
Okay. So I would be willing to bet that despite your confidence level, there are things when you are representing a organization or a business, something of that matter, that you didn't realize you could do. And I know a lot it makes with all the multi-level marketing and direct sales that happen via social media, it makes it really look like a full-time job. And that is not the goal of this, is to tell you how much work it's going to be. This is, easy. Right now I spend between an hour to 2 hours a week working on posts, and that's it. Some weeks I spend less, some weeks I spend more. So like this week I spent more just because of conference. All right. So let's talk about an account tune-up. So how many people on here are responsible for their chapters, Instagram, Facebook pages? Okay.
This year it's fallen to me as the president. Last year we had somebody else in charge of it, and I think we're finding somebody, but for the time being, it's me.
Okay. So Nick, Joe.
This is Lauren. I'm more on the Facebook, and Joseph does more of the Instagram for me, but we go and we have different roles. Like our secretary's on there, our treasurer's on there. So whoever wants to make a post can make a post to kind of help each other out.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask if you are on a computer or on your phone and you have the administrative rights to access your chapters. We're going to start with Instagram just because of some polling I did with Gen Zers. That's kind of more where they're spending their time. And then we'll talk later about how to give it to Facebook. So if you don't mind pulling up your Instagram page, and we're going to walk through this tune-up. So check your bio. Make sure that there is helpful information there that clearly says like who you are and what you're about. So for the state page, I updated that, and it says me switch over to it. Our mission is to provide development opportunities that will empower young people to create positive change. So, just something simple that when people click on your link or click on your profile, they get an idea without having to scroll through your post to try to figure it out. So that would be, step number one. Also with this, you want to make sure that whatever Instagram handle you have is something easy to remember and not super complicated, because you want people to be like, oh yeah, let me go check on that, or let me tag them in this. So that's also something to look at as we're checking out the bio section. Does anybody have any questions about how to update their bio section, how to get there?
Marley, would you be willing to type out a example of one in the? I know you just read one, but sometimes it's easier if we can even just a copy paste kind of thing.
Yeah, I can. Let me see. I don't know how. Is there a way to get to? I don't know how to get to chat from here. Jeremy, can you do it in the chat and just take the one off the state's Instagram page?
Yep, I'll do that.
Okay. Oh no, not that. How do I get back?
Sorry, now I broke the computer.
Yeah, now you break everything. Because, this is not what I spend my day doing. Okay, present. And I'm happy to meet with people individually or do like screenshot walkthroughs if there are people that need it. But what I did was I just kind of looked up on JCI USA and being a new member, familiarized myself with the values of the organization and tried to summarize it. Okay, y'all ready to move on? Those of you who are actively trying to update things. Lauren, I know you were working, it looks like you were working on it. You ready? I don't know where she went.
Yes, I was on mute.
Okay. You're fine. All right. So the other thing is you want to make sure that website is there too. So make sure your chapter website is there, because then that will, if people have more questions or want to sign up or anything like that. This is also really beneficial if you're having a big fundraiser or there's an event page or something, you can put that link there. Many of us don't have enough to get that swipe up link. You have to have, I think, 15,000 followers to get a swipe up link. So, link in bio is going to be your friend for big events where you need people to go sign up for things. I work for a nonprofit. So when we have our big relay every year, link in bio, that is the link. It takes you to register for the relay and all of that information. So it doesn't have to say your state chapter homepage, use this and reference it and get those people driving to your website. All right, so next would be your profile picture. So does the profile picture represent the group? Is it a picture of a group of people? Is it your chapter's logo? Or, make sure that profile picture represents the group. All right, so next, here's the thing that's probably different for those who are familiar with it. You want to check and see what account type your Instagram account is. And you want to make sure it's a business account, because the business account gives you opens up functionality and gives you a lot more insight to look to see what's happening. Are those of you who are in charge of your chapters or have admin rights to your chapters, are they set up as business accounts, or is that something we need to take a few minutes to talk through?
How do we check if it's a business account?
So you should be able to go into the settings, and when you click on your like your hamburger menu in the corner to open up all that side menu, if you don't see like insights as one as an option, it's probably just a personal account.
Okay.
And you can also click in settings and it'll say like, you know, you can change your account and that kind of stuff. And that's something that if you need additional help with that, you know, we can walk through it, or I can schedule time with you individually to make sure that that's there. All right, any questions about making sure your Instagram is a business account? All right, so the next thing, and this is why I'm saying focus on Instagram. So now you can link all those accounts. So when you post on Instagram, you can have it go to Facebook and Twitter and all of those things. So, you know, let's check. Do you have it set up for those accounts to be linked? And if you don't know how to do that, do people know how to do that? Have they done that for their personal account? You have not done that for your personal account, Jeremy. Okay, so what you will do is you will go to your settings and then account, and where did it go? Oh, and then it says sharing to other apps, and then you link. Then from there, you can link, you just click whatever app you want to use. So this has Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, some other things. And so you click that, put your login information, and it links. And then when you go to make a post, it'll give you the option to shoot it to Facebook, and you just click the button. So really simple. And that is essential, because if you're not, you want to make sure that everything is being posted on as many platforms as possible so that you're reaching all the different audiences that you're trying to. All right, so what to post? So you want to make sure you're posting posts on like your main feed and then on your stories. So this is where you really can have the opportunity to connect with your members and the community. So don't think about your target audience. You know, when you think about your target audience, you want to say, okay, I want to make sure that like I'm engaging with my members, and I also want to be engaging with members of the community and businesses and all of those things. So that's where you want to kind of focus your time. Stories, again, if you're not good with stories, you know, there's lots of great resources. I can help you. They don't have to be anything fancy. Just something as simple as like a repost. But the stories feature on Instagram and Facebook is definitely where the younger generations are spending a lot of their time. They don't spend a ton of time scrolling through news feeds. All right, so next, you want to be selling the Jaycees with the social media. So despite you know, whether or not you are actually selling something, you are always influencing others and communicating your preferences and things via social media from a personal standpoint or a, you know, professional one. So, you know, I am on and I have blue blocker glasses right now. You know, when I use the, you know, if I post a picture or I'm doing a training like this, I am selling blue blocker glasses. Even though I'm not talking about it, I am representing them. I have on earbuds, AirPods, whatever you want to call them. Like, I'm marketing these. So you want to make sure that you are putting that best foot forward, that you are selling, that you want to make sure you are representing what your Jaycees chapter is doing and trying to make sure that you are bringing people in with your post. So, you know, engagement post is one way you can do that. So getting people to comment on things, getting people to repost things. So those are, you know, just think about that. Like, what's going to capture my attention? What's going to make me interested in post is kind of where you want to be thinking about as you're posting different things. And then hashtags. Instagram and Twitter love hashtags. Facebook, they're getting to do better with that, but Facebook just isn't a hashtag lover. But with our goal in mind of reaching our members, potential members in the community, you don't want to stick to just JC or JCI USA hashtags. You want to be putting in things like the other day, chocolate cake day, you know, hashtag Matilda, you know, all of those things. I mean, who doesn't remember the hashtag, you know, the Bruce shoving his chocolate cake, at least from our generation, shoving the chocolate cake in his mouth. You know, that's kind of been something that's transcended generations. Because there are some people who search for hashtags. So somebody who might be interested in volunteer may search hashtag volunteering. There are people that monitor the local government's social media accounts. So I live in Spartanburg. So One Spartanburg is one of the hashtags, love where you live. So putting those things that are going to connect you in and draw those other people in is where hashtags are really going to come and be essential for kind of making sure that those posts are reaching other people outside of your immediate followers. Does anybody have questions about hashtags?
Yeah, Marley, is there ever like too many hashtags or anything like that? Like, do you want to limit them or just kind of put everything that relates?
So, you know, some people get really bogged down in them. I personally don't like to see a ton of hashtags on the content. So I try to stick to like no more than 10 on a post. And for some things, you know, you only have about 5, depending on what you're doing. So, you know, if you've got a bunch, you know, think about which ones are going to really reach that target audience and which ones are going to have the biggest impact. And some of that can be your, you know, your personal discretion, but my personal preference is I don't like to see a ton of them. Just because they're initially, I feel like people actually read them. But then when you start piling them in, people don't read them. They're more or less used as a way to filter content and pull similar content. So that, you know, hashtag sorry, not sorry. Like that was one that you put on there because people read it. Now you put hashtag leadership because then when you click on leadership as a hashtag or you search it, it pulls all the content that people have put hashtag leadership on. So it kind of works like a filter. Does that help, Jeremy? All right, any questions about posting stories or like selling the Jaycees before we move on? No? Okay. All right, so where do you get content from? You know, first, what's going on in your chapter? What's going on in your community? So those of you who weren't on here before we started, we were talking about Spartanburg and getting scooters and having a free valet. The Spartanburg chapter just added a story from reposting from the city about the valet and about the scooters coming. So, you know, those were things that, you know, could be interesting to their members or, you know, it also, when you repost a story or a post to your story, it then it notifies that person or that organization that you did that. So that also draws them back to your page. You know, what's going on in your chapter? Are you having local meetings? You know, did somebody get engaged? Did somebody have a baby? Did somebody get married? You know, unfortunately, this is 2020 or 2021, excuse me. And, you know, there've been, you know, a lot of deaths and things, you know, sending appreciations to people, you know, about their you know, about other members and those kind of things. So just, you know, spending some time just communicating with your members and, you know, what's going on in your chapter. So then moving on, past events. So in 2020, there weren't many events that were had. So, you know, pulling from, you know, previous conventions to post about, previous trips to Camp Hope, previous fundraisers, all of those things to say like, hey, look, this is like, these are the fun things we do when we can do them safely. So there's that. Members, so again, highlighting your members, you know, do a member spotlight, do a member takeover where if you've got some members that feel comfortable, where they hop on, you know, they answer the questions for the day on Instagram, or you can have people ask questions. Let them tell you a little bit about their life and the impact the Jaycees have made in their personal life, their professional life, and you know, what their favorite part is. Because we've been talking a lot about, you know, making sure people are renewing and all of that stuff. So, you know, sometimes people need a reminder, especially in a year where we didn't get to do very much. So, you know, really focusing on your why and letting your members communicate that. Next, so posting about the causes you're supporting. So in South Carolina, we support Camp Hope. Lots of the different chapters have different causes that they're supporting. Spartanburg does a Christmas shopping spree. So that's something that, you know, in the fall, we are actively raising money to do. So if you have a cause or a charity or an event that you are fundraising for or that you support, you know, post about it, communicate with that, help get that name out there because it works. you get that like vice versa. When you post and support about that organization, if they have a good social media presence, they're going to post about you too. And so it helps get that exposure out. Any questions about that handful of things before we move on?
I just want to point out.
I have something.
What's
Go
that?
ahead, Jeremy.
Who was that?
It was me.
Amy.
Okay. I was just wondering, Heather Bordell posted in the chat. You can follow JCI America on all platforms for international events to share as well.
Thank you, Jeremy. All right, Amy, what's up?
Okay, I'll make this real quick. It hurts to talk a lot. I am on the National Communications Committee. We are working on a communications calendar. MVP Miranda did it last year, and we're trying to keep up with it. It's about a month in advance with stuff. If you guys need help posting, Jeremy will have access to it. And it gives you, like I see on the slide, it says National Theme Days. It'll give you like a national theme. It'll tell you how you could tie it into events in your chapter, recruitment, anything like that. I do know that we have February done. March is not done because that is mine, and I'm almost done with it, but there's been a setback this week. So we do have a meeting tomorrow, and we will be getting more information out to Jeremy so that he can pass it on to you guys. But I'll also be able to pass on info to you because I do believe that South Carolina is going to be assigned to me as one of the states that I will be working with. So I will get that information out to y'all.
Perfect. Thanks so much. So what's happening at the state level? Steal my stuff. I mean, if I'm putting it in, post it. Show what we're doing at the state level. Hopefully I can enlist Jeremy at some point to do a grid of everybody that's on the call and take a screenshot at some point during the day so that I can have that to repost, or I can do that later. National theme days, those are easy. Like I just have them on my calendar. This week there was National Chocolate Cake Day. There's coming up this week, National Thank a Mail Carrier Day. Think about, they're all those different things. And some of those are little things that, how easy is it before you leave in the morning to put a sticky note and say, thank you for bringing my mail, on your mailbox. Or, for me, I have a door slot. Let me put it just on my front door and say thank you. Because we don't see them often, especially if we have jobs where we work outside of the home. I know many people are working remotely from home now, but even then you may not see your mail carrier. And at times that is definitely a thankless job. And in the year of 2020, we are depending on so much to come via mail. So, just some of those things are really helpful and easy ways to show appreciation. All right, so post resources. I think this is what Amy was talking a little bit about, the JCI USA Google Sheet, Canva, Pinterest. So here is the screenshot of the JCI USA Google Sheet from January. So as you can see, it's got the day of the week, the date, the topic or national holiday, like whatever's related to it. This is also a really, really great resource for people who aren't super familiar with a bunch of things. There is already a graphic made and linked right here for you. And then there is also a post idea. Sometimes it's just copying and pasting that. Sometimes it's tweaking it to fit your chapter. And then there's also the event interaction ideas or notes. So, all the leadership live things are on here, and there's already a graphic made and linked right there. So that makes it super easy to post. Again, we are working, smarter, not harder here as far as our social media. Okay, does anybody have questions about this? You can reach out to Jeremy, you can send a DM to the Facebook or Instagram page if you need access to anything. Reach out to me, and we can work through making sure that you have access to this. Amy, was this what you were thinking about? Jeremy, do you know, is this the document she was referring to?
I believe so. That's the one that I had received an email.
Okay, perfect.
I think that's it.
All right, so Canva. Many of you probably don't know what Canva is, but see this content a lot on social media. So it's just a graphic design platform where you can create all kinds of things. Things for social media, presentations, posters, documents, t-shirts, all of that stuff. You know, stickers, whatever. I used Canva to create this presentation. Most of anything that all of those links are to Canva on that JCI USA document. So it's a really great resource, and JCI USA has a pro account, so you've got, you know, basically all the functionality to create things and play around with that stuff. It's pretty user friendly. It's got a good resource of images you can pull from. You can upload your picture, all of that stuff. If you need help with Canva, again, I am happy to help you with it. It's honestly one of those things that just spend some time while you're watching Netflix or whatever, messing with. You can also go through and look and see the things that I have made for the state level and just delete South Carolina Jaycees and put Lexington Jaycees or Anderson, Columbia, wherever, you know, make it fit your chapter. All right, does anybody have questions about Canva? Nope, okay. All right, Pinterest. I love Pinterest. Pinterest is a great resource. So if you need an image for something about volunteer or a quote or a cute picture that you don't want to create in Canva about Thank America, a Mail Carrier Day, or I pulled inauguration bingo card from Pinterest. You know, there are lots of things you can pull from Pinterest and use that graphic. There are also lots of resources about like what to post on what day. So theme days, you know, Mindful Monday, all of those things. Hashtags. So, you know, if you feel comfortable using Pinterest, it really does have a lot of different resources available to you. And I like it because it kind of helps filter out some of the links. You know, I don't have to click through links to see if it has what I need. I look, I see the image, I click, and then I'm done, and then I can move on from there. All right, so this is where the working smarter, not harder really comes into play, is planning posts. You know, with the JCI USA stuff, what's going on in your chapter, all of those things. If you're doing something about a past event or a cause that your chapter is supporting, you don't need to wait until, if you know you're gonna do a Thankful Thursday and you're gonna talk about, you know, a cause that you're supporting or something that's happening in your community as part of that. You don't need to wait till Wednesday night to get that ready, you know, at midnight or Thursday morning on your lunch break to try to scramble to get that posted. You can use one of these apps, Planoly later. Creator Studio is just for Facebook. Primarily the interface and stuff for Instagram isn't great with it. I use Later. It doesn't automatically post the things, but it sends you a notification. All you have to do is click post. There are some, I think Planoly, with the paid edition, it will automatically post stuff when you schedule it. Like you can set a time, you're like, I want this to post at 9 a.m. and it will go. So this is where you can sit down when you have time. You can take 15 minutes and say, okay, I need to work on a post for tomorrow, and take it and not have to feel like you're posting your posts are dictating your life. Sit down when you have time, make a post, and then just post it when you want to post it. What's up, Jeremy?
We have a question in the chat.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Are any of the apps free, or do you know if any of them are being provided through JCI?
Later is free. That I do not know if any of them are being provided by JCI USA, but that's definitely something we can look into and then send out in an email, or I can post about. Yes, I use Later because it's free. All right. Questions about planning posts. Again, if you need help with these, I am happy to sit down and walk you through them. But based on the fact that most of y'all said y'all are pretty comfortable with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it's just a matter of downloading it and messing with it a little bit. They're all pretty user friendly. All right, so the behind the scenes stuff. This is where you see everything that's happening with your posts. This is why you want that business account. The business accounts give you these insights. They let you know, are people attending to this? Are people staying on this? Are people unfollowing us? Are we getting new followers without having to keep up with that number in your head? So this is a screenshot of from Instagram of the last 30 days. So, 167 accounts were reached. We had 49 content interactions, and we are up 3.8% on followers. So, you get a lot of good information. You can also, as you're going through and scrolling down, you can see what age range you're hitting, what demographic you're hitting. Are you hitting women? Are you hitting men? You can also see what area you are reaching. So you can see if you are in Columbia, are you actually reaching members that are in Columbia? Or are you reaching Charleston members? That kind of stuff. So there's a lot of good information you get on the backside by having these business accounts. And then for Facebook, you can see, your most engaging posts. You can see how many people your posts reach, new likes, all of that kind of stuff. And while we're here, we only need 8 more likes on the Facebook page to reach 2,000 likes. So if you are not liking the Facebook page, the state Jaycees Facebook page, please go do that. Or if you know people on your board or fellow members who are not, that is my goal from this training, is to get 8 new followers. So let's make that happen. All right, questions about insights behind the scenes?
Parker wants to know if your Instagram is set to black mode.
Oh, yes. I have black mode set for lots of things. Yes, it will not look like this if you don't have black mode turned on your phone. It will all be white. All right. All right, so questions. What do y'all need help with? What do y'all need from me?
Hey, Marley, I have a question. What as
Yeah.
like, I mean, you talked a lot about like the main pages. What as members can we do on our social media? Like obviously share, but to obviously increase engagement and get people to learn more, because I hadn't heard anything about it and I've been here for 5 years and I follow all the local pages. And so how can we as members kind of help support the initiative to expand, membership and everything else?
Yeah, definitely. So, reposting things, you know, getting some swag, wearing your swag, that always helps too. And, just really being active and involved with the social media stuff. So reposting it, that's the thing where like the other piece of this is consistency. Posting those things that your local government and other nonprofits are doing, and supporting them, events that are happening, those kind of things. When you share their stuff, as far as, as a member of JCI USA or a Spartanburg JC, you're building that interaction and that relationship with that organization. And so more than likely, you're going to get them following you back, or they're going to say, oh, you posted this. And then if you also posted about JC stuff, if they click through, they may see, what's happening. So yeah, commenting on things, posting about it. And, if you see, also the other thing that I meant to include in here, like if you are doing things at your chapter level, again, I don't spend a ton of time on it, but I do spend some time. So if there's something big happening in your chapter, tag, comment on it, send it to me, that kind of stuff, and I'll get that reposted as well. So, as members, if you know that your membership person is out, like take pictures for them, ask what you can do to help capture the event. Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just typing in the chat. I wonder if people could share pages that they follow that might be helpful for us to follow. So I avoid news because I'm very intentional about what I put in my bubble. Not just what we consume with our mouths, but with our minds can affect us tremendously. So I'm very cautious about that. So if anybody has any pages they suggest that could be helpful to follow locally or statewide or even national, that might be less negative and or impactful that we can share and engage with would be helpful.
Yeah, Jeremy, can we add that as a list of something to put on an agenda for talking to chapter presidents?
Yeah, asking for them to share basically different pages that they follow.
Yeah, just in terms of even if they're not the ones doing it, but just making sure that that's something that they're communicating with their members about at a chapter level. I'm
Gotcha.
happy to post all of those things, but also I don't know about Columbia. I don't know about Charleston.
Real
have that
quick.
conversation.
Yeah, Felicia, what's up?
And this obviously would be the same issue that it needs to be shared, but in some other multi-level marketing businesses that I've done, we have like a social media group where we specifically have everybody just sending like our graphics or whatever that we want to share with everybody. So I guess it's the same issue, but I didn't know if it may be useful to use another page separate from our other pages or a group perhaps. But
yeah, we
that
actually
idea out there.
have, there is a WhatsApp group for social media. I haven't been posting in it, but that is absolutely, let's see, how many people are in this group?
We also have the closed JCI.
There are only 3 people in there, so.
We also have the closed JCI South Carolina group. Marley, if you want it, you could take over that a little bit and start posting
Okay.
graphics and things like that and scheduled posts in there.
Okay.
Because it's really used for announcements and resources. So you can kind of
Yeah.
take that over. If you guys make sure you're in that group, you guys can see Marley's updates. And then Nick has a question as well.
Yeah. What's up, Nick? Thanks for raising your hand.
So I've run into an issue. There are most of the active people in my chapter aren't necessarily on social media. And so even if they are not ones that will go out and share posts and things of that nature. And whether or not they're excited about the event is really not a factor. It's just the fact that they're not using social media. So how do we get them excited about using social media?
So this is probably more of a like membership recruitment thing. And so y'all will be staying tuned for more information about that. What's your demographic? Are you hitting that 30 to 40 range? Or are you talking, 18 to 21-year-old, 25-year-olds?
Most of that is a lot of the chapter that was around before I was a member. So it's mostly 30 to 40, which is kind of generally the Facebook, that Facebook demographic, but they're not even sharing anything on our events on Facebook. They'll respond to the event, but I'm not getting as much response in the way of promoting.
Yeah, so I think you're going to get a lot of questions, a lot of good information out of the next presentation on how to data JC. And then, they're just people that don't use social media, and that's fine. So, you may just need to make sure that, whoever, you're doing your social media stuff right now, that you're posting and engaging and trying to connect with the community through your page. And then just really encouraging those members who don't use social media to use their word of mouth power for different events. But yes, definitely stay tuned for the How to Data JC, because I think that will help you get into that other demographic, which then will help support your social media. What's up, Jeremy?
Nick, I'm going to add on to that just a second. One thing that we did do a couple years back, which helped, is we would tag all of our members in the comments whenever we made a post. And what that does is even if they don't share it, it could still show up to some of their followers, because it'll say like so-and-so was tagged in this post. So either tag them in the post or tag them in the comments, and you can still utilize their social media reach without them actually doing any of the work. And then Alicia has her hand up.
Yeah, Alicia.
Hey, I know we talked about this at our meeting, but I learned something from the School of TikTok.
Yeah, I don't do TikTok, so educate us.
Yes. So what I learned from TikTok is that Instagram specifically, and I'm sure I could find Facebook, in order to increase visibility on Instagram and get that post showing to more places, instead of liking it and commenting on it, you actually need to bookmark it. So if you're familiar with Instagram, you never actually see your bookmarks again unless you're very intentional about going there to look for something. But if you bookmark it, that actually will make it show on more people's pages and increases the visibility, like on the it would be similar to like a For You page or whatever, but like the interest. So bookmark it things when you see them on Instagram, and then I can try and figure out how to increase the most visibility. But I love the idea of tagging things, because I'm not a Facebook person. I only check my notifications. So if you tag me in something, I'll repost it. But if I'm not tagged in it, I probably don't actually see it. That's not a social media I scroll in.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for the TikTok education. All right. Anybody else? Felicia, I can get you. Are you doing the Spartanburg stuff? I can get you
I'm
added.
not. No,
Okay.
Patrick Yates is, but I am on it often enough that I would be helpful in helping to get this initiation ready. It's something we definitely have been trying to work on for a long time, and I'd love to be helpful in it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can definitely, through ongoing communication with chapter presidents, make that a piece to disseminate to their communications and social media people about using that private Facebook page or the WhatsApp chat for posting graphics and things. Because like I said, it's me, Jeremy, and one other person right now in that group. So that's why I haven't really been utilizing it. But absolutely, we can be utilizing that. Anybody got anything else? I see that I am out of time.
Thank you so much, Marley. This was great. Guys, again, if you need to reach out to Marley, she's normally real quick to get back to you. Facebook, Instagram, she's going to answer those obviously pretty quickly. Or you can reach out to me and I can get you in touch with her if you need me to. There is that WhatsApp group, and we're going to start utilizing that private Facebook group as well. So again, any info you guys need, we're trying to get it to you to make this a simple process. But I think making our social media presence a lot bigger, people are going to know who we are, and people know who we are. They want to help us. So thank you all for attending that first training. And Marley, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank y'all